I'm 23 years old, and I've learned that every moment of life wants to teach us something. If you are ready and willing to listen, to see, to open your eyes. So, these are the seventh biggest lessons that I've taken from my 20s so far. First, first one, you can't help anyone until you learn how to take care of yourself first. I used to pour myself into others and into other people and situations and wonder why nothing changed. You can't give something if you don't have anything because you can't give what you don't have, basically. So it can be emotional energy, it can be boundaries, stability. Learning to take care of myself first made everything I do for others healthier and even more sustainable at the end. The second one is stop running away from yourself. And when you do that, loneliness stops being scary. Instead, it becomes your superpower. Running from loneliness only makes it louder. When I learned to sit with myself, I discovered who I actually am and what I need. That quiet wisdom became a source of strength, creativity, and even clarity in my path, not something to fear. So I don't fear loneliness anymore because I traveled so much alone and I discovered a power, a strength in myself that I didn't know existed and I didn't know I was capable of. And I discovered it only by facing my loneliness and my fear of loneliness itself. The third one is people love you in the way that they learned how to be loved. You can't expect other people to give you something they don't have, and that you can't expect them to give you the same things that you give. Most people give love the only way they know how. It can be shaped by their past, by their earlier days, by how their parents taught them. Expecting them to mirror your way of loving leads to disappointment eventually. The change that helped me most was not lowering my standards, but lowering demands on others and choosing relationships that match my needs. It doesn't mean that you have to lower your standard, as I said, but it means that you are objective and you realize what people can give you, and you don't expect anything more or anything less. Because expectation is the killer of joy, as they say. If you expect more than they can give, it's a continuous disappointment. It's a continuous, killing your expectations. And this is obviously frustrating. The fourth thing is the only true freedom is the freedom you find within yourself. Yeah, the only freedom is the inner freedom. And you can say, yeah, you have money, when you have time, you are free. But are you really free? Because many times I realized that I chased external freedom, maybe a new city, a new job, more money, and I still felt trapped. Real freedom showed when I stopped tying my peace to outcomes, to external things and external validation somehow. And I started practicing acceptance and inner choice. So I chose to be happy in that moment. I chose to be free inside of me. That inner freedom doesn't vanish when life gets hard because it's something established inside of you. And for that specific goal, I really used meditation, for example, because meditation helped me center myself and be more present and be more satisfied and happy with my life, even if it's not easy all the time. So, yeah, you can have everything in this life. And I think that famous people and people that have everything show us how important peace, inner peace, and stability is for our life and for even the abundance of emotions, of affection, and of what we see outside and inside. It's more of the perception of abundance in our life than the actual abundance, maybe. financial or whatever. When you are free inside of you, you perceive that you are more abundant and rich, even outside of you. Even if you are not a millionaire or rich or whatever, but you feel more abundant in general. And you probably attract more abundance as well. The fifth thing is you don't need to see or control the whole path. The next step is enough. And one day, these will all make sense. Perfectionism made me freeze so many times. I wanted to see the whole map, the whole path, but I learned to trust small steps instead. The tiny decisions that move you forward and that you can make every day without waiting for the big product, for the big goal to happen, for the big result. But they just little small steps that accumulate over time. And in this way, the mess starts to read like a plan. It seems like a map and not just a chaos of different things accumulating in your life. The sixth thing is what bothers you most in others often reflects something that you haven't accepted or integrated in yourself. That hurts because annoyance is a clue, not just a proof that someone is wrong. When I felt intense irritation and, that frustration or that anger towards someone, I started asking myself, why does this trigger me? It doesn't even concern me. That curiosity revealed parts of myself that I hadn't looked at, and that work changed my relationships and the way that I approach people and I approach my relationships and I stay in them. And I a lot more peaceful in my relationships. I tend to argue less and be more, a connection between everyone in the group, trying to let everyone express without taking everything personal, without getting offended easy. When I was younger, I got offended very, very easily. I took everything personally, like it was an insult to me, to my person. But it's not true. Many times people are just frustrated. But if you get frustrated as well, it means that you need to solve something inside of yourself as well. And the seventh and last thing is that there is no such thing as a non-spiritual life. Getting lost, doubting, making mistakes, and even the smallest moments that we barely notice and we just forget are all part of our experience here on earth. And they are important because every experience teaches you something. So it's very fundamental if you can watch it, if you can see something in it. Spirituality isn't only ritual or ceremony or meditating. It's even like the messy, tiny, everyday stuff. Mistakes, doubts, coffee spills, quiet mornings, little accidents that we have every day. Everything is teaching you, sometimes slowly, sometimes painfully, sometimes in a happy way, but everything is teaching you. And that's what being here on earth is for. That's why we are here, to learn, to experience, not only for the big things, but especially for the small things, because you can't expect to learn and to become a better person only when you achieve big goals or only if there are big events in your life. We need to improve every single day by noticing all the small lessons that we can learn from. And that's why I made this video, because those are 7 lessons that I learned through experience in my 20s. Through experience, but also failure and frustration and anger, but also joy and small moments and appreciation of life and gratitude, because I learned that being grateful, even for the bad parts of life, even for the misfortunes, for the little accident, for the things that we usually get angry and frustrated for, and we carry that anger for the entire life. That ruins our big heart and we close ourselves off. But we need to stay open in a state of acceptance towards other people, towards life. I'm 23, I'm still learning and still growing, still experiencing, and I will keep doing that because I love life right now. Even if it's hard, even if it's painful sometimes, I love it. And so yeah, if something in this video resonated with you, or you want to tell me which point you feel most resonating with, tell me in the comments, and I'd love to hear your experience and your point of view. Subscribe if you want to hear more reflections. I hope you have a great day, a great night, and yeah, see you very soon.